Hello. Have you guys ever woken up one morning and realized that you forgot about an assignment that was due the night before? That feeling of sheer panic is one that I was very familiar with for quite a while. Um, so today I'm going to tell you how to avoid that feeling of panic by making a planner. Throughout high school, I always had a planner, but I never really used it. And when I got into college, I started missing several 5-point assignments that added up over time. So last semester, I made and used my very own planner for the first time, and I will never go back. So today I'm going to tell you how to make a planner by telling you about the materials that are needed, how to make it, and how to use it effectively. So I'll first start out with the materials that are needed. The first thing you're going to need is an assignment of all your courses. I find that it's easiest to find this in the syllabus, and you can typically, I like to print it off because it makes it easier to access, and you can just stick it in a folder and pull it out when you need it, and then put it back in, and you never have to look at it again until you need it for the next week. And that's just a little bit easier than trying to pull it up on your computer every time you need it. So the next thing you'll need is paper and a notebook. So for the paper, I like to use plain white sheets of paper because it makes for a very clean, professional look, and it just makes it a little bit more professional. For the notebook, you want to make sure it's the size of the planner that you actually are wanting. I tend to like something a little bit smaller just so it fits better. The next thing that you're going to need are pencils and pens. Pencils are good because when you're first starting to make your planner, you can erase and make it exactly the way you want it. But pens are also nice because it adds a little bit of color, and you can make your planner look kind of nice and something that you want to look at every day. So I just told you about the materials that are needed, so now I'm actually going to tell you how to create the planner. So when you're creating the planner, the first thing you're going to do is make the cover, the monthly pages, and the weekly pages as well. So when you're making the cover, really the only thing that you're going to need is a plain white sheet of paper, and it just has to have the year. That's really all that it needs. But as you can see, I kind of made it a little bit flowery. I added a little bit of personality to it. Sorry if you guys can see that. So that's an option you can do. It's not necessary, but I kind of like looking at something that makes me feel happy, and when I'm trying to do my homework assignments and not something that's going to depress me. So when you're making your monthly planning pages, I kind of have a display here of the month of January. It's the one I had last month, so I kind of just took it out of this and put it on here. So you're going to make a sticker that has just the name of the month, and all it needs is the name of the month, but obviously I kind of added a little bit more to make it a little bit more appealing. And then just a calendar of the month. So with this, you can print both of these out. I kind of did a little bit of 50-50 on it, and I printed out this because sometimes it's hard to make like perfectly straight lines and get all the days. So it's just it takes a little bit of time, and it's a little bit easier. And then I made this my own because I like kind of making things a little bit with my own spin on it. So when you're making your weekly planners, really the only thing it needs is a box to put your assignments and the 7 days of the week. It's pretty simple, and you can make 4 of them for every month, and they can be the exact same format. So you don't have to make a special format for every month. So I just told you about how to make them. I'm going to tell you about how to attach them in your actual planner. So when you're attaching the cover to the planner, it is important to just stick tape on the back and then attach it to the front. Now when you're taking it out, sometimes that paper will get stuck on bags and things. So what I did was actually I took packing tape and I rolled it around and kind of stuck it in the back here, so that way this was going to be completely attached and it wasn't going to get ripped off in the process of taking it out. So whenever you're attaching your monthly pages, you just put it in the order of the months and leaving 4 pages in between for your weekly planners. And so when you're attaching this, you just put rolls of tape, put them on the same page. Pretty simple. And so then you'll just take your weekly planners and you'll just attach 4 in between each month and with tape. So now that everybody knows how to make a planner, I'm actually going to tell you how to use it. So in using a planner, planning monthly is pretty simple. You'll just take your list of assignments out and look at for big point assignments. So these are things like tests, quizzes, papers, maybe some personal things too, like payments or birthdays, anniversaries, different things like that are happening throughout the month. And you put them on the actual day that they are happening. So for this month, I had printing my syllabuses and the introduction speech. And then my car payment, I always have on the same day every month, so I never forget it because that's something I would do. And so then you'll just have like the big assignments and just write them in, and then your monthly planning is done. This should be done on the last day of the month before you're planning for. So this way you can just start out good for every month, and it's just something new and fresh, and it's also a way to kind of get your head ready for that month. So for weekly planning, this should be done on the Friday before the week you're planning for. So you'll get your list of assignments out, and you'll find all of the assignments that are going on for that week. So what you'll do is you'll put them in 2 to 3 days before they're actually due, and this ensures that if you actually follow your planner, you're never going to turn in anything late. So that's something that has really helped me, and I also like to use like check boxes because when you get done with something, you can like fill the box in, and it makes you feel really good about yourself, and like just kind of gives you a sense of accomplishment too. So as you all can see, making a planner is a simple way to save time and hopefully some stress. So in this speech, I kind of told you about the materials that are needed, how to create and how to use a planner, and now I hope that those early morning panic attacks can be avoided. Thank you.